Understanding Fraudsters, Fraud Triangle. What is the fraud triangle? The concept of the fraud triangle is generally credited to Donald R. Creasy, who worked in the fields of criminology and white-collar crime. The fraud triangle outlines three elements present when an individual commits occupational fraud: pressure, opportunity, and R. Pressure refers to the employee's motivation, which might drive him to commit fraud. These pressures may not be related to work and are rather personal, such as overwhelming debt, addiction, divorce, or other family issues. However, there may also be work-related pressures. The opportunity to commit fraud is a risk factor that increases where internal controls are weak or where they do not exist. Companies with strong controls help limit employees' opportunities to engage in fraudulent financial reporting. Companies with limited or no internal controls provide an easy opening for fraud to be perpetrated. Rationalization is the final factor, and it is how the perpetrator justifies fraud. For instance, a person may feel it is permissible to steal because an injustice was done to him. Rationalization can also occur if an employee sees their superior displaying unethical behavior and getting away with it. In this situation, the employee may feel that management is not concerned with creating an ethical environment, and that unethical behavior is tolerated or overlooked. How can companies prevent and detect fraud? The fraud triangle helps companies understand how and why fraud is committed by taking measures to address the causes of fraud before it occurs. First, employers can attempt to limit the pressure on employees. It may not be possible to address all pressures on employees, especially if the pressure is from external sources. However, appropriate employment policies may help. In addition, financial and performance goals should be reviewed to ensure they are reasonably attainable and appropriately communicated to employees. Next, to address the rationalization aspect, it is important for companies to create a corporate culture that values employees, sets proper ethical codes of conduct, and insists on accountability. Lastly, companies should ensure that internal controls are in place and operating effectively to reduce the opportunity to commit fraud. An operational review conducted by an independent third party can help companies identify their risks, evaluate their internal controls, and make recommendations on where improvements can be made. The review should be comprehensive. These reviews should be done periodically to ensure that changes within the company have not caused internal controls to erode. Companies should not only implement strong controls, they should also continually engage in fraud detection. The key takeaway is that management, with advice from corporate counsel and accountants, has the power to identify and mitigate fraud risks. While no action can eliminate fraud, implementing policies that address the three arms of the fraud triangle will aid in detecting fraud if it does occur.